Here to break down the current economic state is financial planner Dan Casey. Dan, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you always shoot down the middle and tell us the good things, the bad things, the good, the bad, the ugly, whether it's Biden is in office or President Trump is in office. And in this case, there's a couple things that you wanted to address. The first was, I know that the president in his speech talked about eliminating the Social Security tax.
Yes.
That's not something that we've seen, actually.
No, he said that before the bill was passed. And then when the bill came out, I scoured it and saw nothing that eliminated Social Security taxation. What he did and tagged it to that was giving the extra $6,000 deduction to those 65 and up per person. So, and that can help because 2/3 of the income is usually Social Security at that point. So it can help make some of the Social Security less taxable, but certainly by no means made it tax-free.
It's interesting because the president also talked about drug prices going down in some cases 400, 500, 600%. The simple math is that if something goes down 100%, that means it's down to zero.
Yeah.
So you're not paying anything for your drugs. That can't be true. The 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. What do you make of that in this instance?
It's interesting, and we've seen this before. A lot of things are thrown out, and maybe not 100% comes to fruition. So We'll see how that plays out. We know absolutely. Fixing our healthcare system is not something that can be done quickly or simple. We've tried it before, and it's probably not going to happen with his new things that he just talked about tonight. But I am super interested to see how the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, how that starts to, when people do their taxes next year, maybe that will help boost the economy, because the economy is not quite as fantastic as maybe he made it sound on tonight's address, which we all assumed would happen.
Well, it's interesting because President Biden and President Trump in this case have something in common. Both of them, in certain instances within their career, talk about how there's really nothing to see here. There's no affordability crisis. In fact, I think this president called it a hoax from before. President Biden made a similar statement saying the economy is good, and they held up charts and said everything's fine. How do you reconcile that as a financial planner?
Yeah, so, and you can find statistics to tell you just about anything, but I have clients coming in every day and telling me, we have to re-examine our income plan here because, I'm feeling it. Inflation with groceries, insurance costs, everything seems to be going up. So I think the higher net worth people, it's not affecting them as much. Obviously, the lower income, it's hitting hard. Inflation's still here. It's sticky. It was up 9% a couple years ago, right? So it's.
Well, I was going to say, but inflation was significantly higher during its peak during the Biden administration.
Yes.
It's come down significally in the last few years, but now it's kind of hovering up a little bit, right?
It has. It's ticked up a little bit, and it's cumulative. So people are still feeling the pain. And when it hit just above 9% a few years ago, it was because of inflation. Always comes in a major supply shock, and we had both at that time. We had a supply shock because of COVID, and we had a money shock because of all the money printing that we did.
Some people say that they're not feeling a tariff shock necessarily, but the effects of tariffs are there, both good and bad.
Yeah.
The long-term effects of tariffs, which do take time, is to kind of correct some of the trade imbalances that we have with other countries.
Yes.
How important is that for the long-term economy?
It's very important, and I think it will be effective if we can hold still. It's like you said, it's going to take years. They are bringing jobs back. They are manufacturing more here, so that's going to help it. But it just takes time, unfortunately. And so far, corporations seem to have eaten about half of the tariffs, and the consumer has eaten the other half. So I think across the board, we're up about 5% in prices, a little bit higher on the heavy tariff imports, but. We're so far doing okay with it.
What are you most optimistic about in 2026 when it comes to the economy? What are you the most weary about right now?
So I think everything else seems okay. So as long as the AI can consistently help corporations and help you and I and help cut costs there, I think that's going to help the economy and drive the economy for 2026 for sure. And then of course the flip side is just how these things that Trump has done is going to affect hopefully not negative.
Well, of course, when the president does well with the economy, we do well, and so we wish everyone the best as we move forward here, including Dan Casey, a financial planner. Good to see you, Dan. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Well, the sun.